What's up, everyone? Welcome to Season 1, Episode 23 of Director Spotlight. This is, of course, where we go through the entire filmography of a director. Season 1 is Steven Spielberg. We are up to his 23rd movie. Guys, we got 11 more after this, and we're done. We've done it. We will have conquered the filmography. This movie came out in 2005. It is called War of the Worlds. Now, before we get into all my fun facts, and I have a number of them, and the numbers and all that kind of stuff, I'm going to ask, Evan, have you seen this more or less times than Close Encounters of the Third Kind, a fellow alien movie?
This would be less times. But I've seen it. I've seen it multiple times. It's been a rotation, but it's technically less times.
Okay, very good. And Alex, what's your experience with this movie? Did you see it when it came out? Did you watch it for the first time at home?
I saw it first time at home. I didn't see this in the theater. So this is like my third time. This is my third time watching it.
Third time.
Okay. Yeah.
And I saw this came out the summer that I graduated high school. So I remember this being like, I finished school. This was a big summer movie. I was like, I'm a man now. I don't go to school anymore. And this was one of the first movies I remember going to it was a big deal. All my friends were going to see it. The ones I still talk to after high school were like, let's go to the movies and go see War of the Worlds. And so it was pretty cool. It has a little bit of nostalgia for me in that regard. Question, have you guys seen the original War of the Worlds? I think it's the 50s it came out.
Yeah. Alex, I never seen that one. I'm gonna buy it because my wife wants to see it. She saw it and she was like, "I think you will like that one."
I was like, "Okay." So I think she might be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. And then I tried to listen to the Orson Welles radio version, the one that made everyone go crazy. And I couldn't get it. After 5 minutes in, I was like, okay, I can't. But I give him a lot of creativity on the radio version. But yeah.
Okay, you have seen the original.
Yeah, my son and I did a weekend where we did the original on Saturday and then watched the Spielberg on Sunday. And then I did listen to the Orson Welles one on Friday. He didn't want to do that, but I did. I did like the whole weekend.
He said, Dad, you're on your own on that one.
Yeah, like, don't push it.
I don't want to listen to that.
I don't want to hear people talking.
Right.
I want to see some pictures.
So you want me to use my imagination? What?
Yeah, don't push it, Dad.
All right, very good. So you're familiar, Alex, a little less familiar, but you know this version. And I've seen the original one. I've seen this one.
Which one do you like between the two?
Well,
I mean, it's not like you're giving the movie away. I'm just saying between the two films, which one do you prefer?
I like this version better than the old one.
Due to special effects or acting or the way it's written? Like, what's the difference?
No,
both?
You know what it is? I think visually, the other one's impressive actually for its time. Don't get me wrong. It's not like a bad production. It's not super cheap looking. Obviously, the effects are different, but it looks good for its time. It's just one of those movies like 50 sci-fi.
It's not
very hit or miss for me. Very hit or miss. Like I either really like it, like The Day the Earth Stood Still. I thought that was fantastic, or I don't like it as much. Like something like this. Like I don't love it. I think it's fine, but I prefer this one. Evan, what about you?
I have a hard time comparing the two because of the differences of like purpose of story. Because I feel like this story, War of the Worlds, is usually made for its time because it's whatever in my part of the review, but the fears of that population of the time that the movie was made. So when you watch the movie, if you don't know it's like you got to know the Cold War, post-World War II kind of fears and stuff. That's where that movie hits, where this movie doesn't deal with that kind of aspect. If you make so, it's very hard to compare. Yeah, post 9/11 fears. So it's very hard to compare the two in the sense of storyline. It's because it's truly not I would not call them a remake. It's they're both reinterpreting the story itself, the source material, not in a sense of remaking the movies, if that makes sense. So it's hard to.
So to you, it's more of a reimagined of the world of the worlds than
Book, like
Which one would you
yeah.
rather watch? I'd
Yeah.
rather watch this one than the old one in general. Is kind of
I would say I've watched them both kind of equally, but it's totally like whatever mood I'm in. If I'm wanting to watch that old 1950 sci-fi, that is a go-to movie. If I'm wanting that Spielberg 2005 feeling, I go to that. To me, they're like, in a sense of they're equally on the same field, but I would never compare them in the sense besides that they have similar story aspects in that realm.
All right. So
Well, I will let everyone know
like,
at
you guys are
home.
weirdos.
Ice Cube version is the best War of the Worlds, the Amazon Prime.
I did not watch that.
Oh, no, I
Man,
couldn't.
you're missing out. You're missing out. You want to have a good laugh? That's the one. That's the one to watch. All right, let's get into some fun facts so we could talk about this movie more. This movie again came out in 2005, summer of 2005, a $132 million budget. So big budget. However, $603.9 million box office. So a big hit for Steven Spielberg here. Bouncing back after The Terminal, which was it made money, but this is a much bigger, bigger scale
box office numbers.
Absolutely. So a big hit. This does have a 7. This is crazy. This is where it gets weird. The critic score for this movie is a 76, which is solid. The audience score for this movie is a 42. Now,
what?
Yes, a 42.
Oh, sorry, I didn't look ahead. Wow. Okay.
42%. I was shocked. However, this is going to be kind of funny. When I posted on Instagram, so every time we're coming up to a new movie, I post a movie and I ask people what they think. I did get mixed comment, like someone really liked it a lot, says great, and then someone's like, I think it's a piece of crap. So maybe, it's reflective. Like there's a lot of people who don't like this movie that much. But yeah, 42%. This was nominated for 3 Academy Awards. They were all technical stuff.
Yeah, I was like sound design. I can see what that said was good.
Sound design, sound mixing, and special effects were the
that I could totally see that. Yeah,
it didn't win any of those, right?
No, it didn't win. I could have seen score. John Williams' music is really good in this movie, but it did not get nominated. 3 noms, 0 wins. So even these blockbusters he gets nominated for, it's crazy. I can't wait till we do the live show where I go over the total of Academy Award nominations. It's going to be an insane number for Spielberg. Now, this was produced by Paramount Pictures, DreamWorks Pictures, Amblin Entertainment, and Cruz Wagner Productions. The film was shot in 73 days using 5 different sound stages, as well as locations in California, Connecticut, New Jersey, New York, and Virginia. It was surrounded by a secrecy campaign, so very few details would be leaked before its release. After collaborating on 2002's Minority Report, Steven Spielberg and Tom Cruise were interested in working together again. Spielberg stated about Cruise, "He's such an intelligent, creative partner and brings such great ideas to the set that we just spark each other. I love working with Tom Cruise." Cruise met with Spielberg during the filming of Catch Me If You Can back in 2002 and gave 3 options of films to create together, one of them being an adaptation of The War of the Worlds. Spielberg chose this one and stated, "We looked at each other and the lights went on. As soon as I heard it, I said, 'Oh my God, War of the Worlds, absolutely.'" And that was it. That was a big story behind why they chose this movie. The film is Spielberg's 3rd on the subject of alien visitation, along with Close Encounters of the Third Kind and E.T., the Extraterrestrial. Producer and longtime collaborator Kathleen Kennedy notes that with War of the Worlds, Spielberg had the opportunity to explore the antithesis of characters brought to life in E.T. and Close Encounters. When we first started developing E.T., it was much edgier, darker story, and it actually evolved into something that was more benign. I think that the edgier, darker story has always been somewhere inside of him, and now he's telling that story. So if you remember those 2 movies, the aliens are pretty much nice. They're not here to cause any harm to humans. This ain't that movie. This is a very different alien movie from Spielberg. And then the last thing is, for Spielberg, the character stories of survivals needed to be the main focus, as they featured the American mindset of never giving up. Spielberg described War of the Worlds as a polar opposite to Close Encounters, with the movie featuring a man leaving family to travel with aliens, while War of the Worlds focuses on keeping his family together. At the same time, the aliens and their motivations would not much be explored, as we just experienced the results of these nefarious plans to replace us with themselves. So story-wise, it was more character-driven. These aliens show up, they start shooting people, and we know the rest. So let's get into the review. I'm very interested to hear what you guys think of this movie. I do have some thoughts on it, more than I thought I would after rewatching it for this. So, Evan, we're going to go to you first. War of the Worlds, you were engrossed in it for the last week, watching all the versions and the radio versions, and I want to hear your take on this movie.
Well, what's funny is I didn't know what facts you were going to bring up. And the last fact you brought up is the one I'm starting with. I thought it was funny as I was watching this, because what doing this is I was thinking about this. Close Encounter, great dad becomes a deadbeat dad. War of the World, deadbeat dad becomes a great dad. Like, literally, it's the polar opposite of what the story of the father is, because Tom Cruise is that cool guy. I really am doing this small town, like small little city. I just go to work. I go to the local club. We're just all our friends, probably not much going on vacation, like that kind of guy, and don't have time for my kids, Yeah. So I just thought that was an interesting take, in the fact that Spielberg acknowledged it, that it's that, because it was just funny. I do love the pacing of this movie for how rich the character development is. If you think about it, things start moving quickly, really fast. We're not like trying to do a long character build up and then boom, aliens. Is that an alien? What's going on? Type of thing. It's like, dude, something's happening. Boom, here's an alien out of the ground, and we're going to start killing everyone and everything. And we're not asking the questions per se. Why? Like, there's no Independence Day, like that. Like, we get like a good long time of just an alien over the White House. What is that there for? Yeah. So it gets dived in, but we get such strong characters in the sense of even side. I don't know how Steven Spielberg shoots it and the writers, because I don't feel like I'm losing anything because of that. Like, I feel like I still get to know Tom Cruise's character. I feel like the wife's relationship is fleshed out well. The kids are well written in a sense. I don't think always well acted. I do think the son, that's one of my major issues. The son, Dakota Fanning, is really, really great actress. And sometimes I feel a little too good of an actress, because I'm like, I don't believe she's a kid at all, if that makes sense. Like, and then the son, I'm like going, I don't think he's acting more young and childish and stuff like that. But I enjoy this film. I like the pacing. I do. The graphics are, I think, great for its time. I do think that little, like, the robot eye that goes through the thing. Every time I see that scene, I think of Anaconda. I wonder if they just took the original Anaconda take, because doesn't that snake remind you like that of that scene where it's going through the cabin chasing J-Lo? I was like, every time I see it, that's what I think. But I think it's good. I do think we get some side characters, like the Tim Robinson's character. That's a well built up, scary tension. That's the most scary part of the movie for me, because watching like that part. And by the way, anyone holding a shotgun, come here. And I always ask myself, why are they the only two that run over to that, and not other people that run into that shelter during that time? But I do. So, the pacing, the ending is weird for me, because I would reverse the ending. So they get into Brooklyn, and they see the robot already dead, and they're like, what's happened? What happened? And then we see a big military fight with this other alien. But it's anticlimactic for me, because I already know that alien's dying. And that alien is sick, or whatever's causing it. It's already dead. I would reverse the two scenes. And as they come into Brooklyn, they're now part of that big fight scene. And we're like, oh, what's going on? And then have it die. And then we see them all die. Like, I just don't like change the scenes, just reverse them in a sense, because that military scene was very, for me, I'm never worried at all, because I'm like going, Are they going to beat them or not? It doesn't matter. It's dying. I already know that. They're just dying. So that would be my biggest change. But I would say overall, I enjoy it. I always forget how well pacing it is for a 2:15? 2 hours and 15?
Yeah.
About
Yeah, it's a 2 hours
an
and 20.
hour,
2
an
hours
hour and
20.
57 minutes.
That's it?
Yeah.
I thought it was over 2 hours.
It was like 2
No,
hours. That's
I'm
okay.
on
It's paced
I'm on
good.
Internet
Yeah,
Movie Database, and it says 1 hour and 57 minutes.
But even for then, it's especially in 2000, that is a longer action flick type. I don't feel it at all. I feel like it's not, but it's not perfect, if that makes sense. But I do want to say where he does get it perfect is the point of view shots of, in a sense of we're at the level of the child of Dakota Fanning's character of Tom Cruise. Like the camera gets to their level of shot, and it's not always like a big Hollywood, but it's not shaky cam, if that makes sense. It's still clean. I see what I'm supposed to see because, but it never goes to that shaky cam, but you get those angles that is typical in the those Bourne movies where they try to lower it. I was just saying it's a masterclass of camera movement, if you didn't hear that. So I just think Spielberg balanced the two, kind of like Hollywood movie, but also getting that up close personal of this is scary. Aliens are attacking us and I have no clue what to do. So I thought it was a well shot movie.
Yeah, not really a handheld kind of director, which I always liked. I mean, it can work. Handheld can work, but I like that he doesn't really go that route.
But you could also get but you still get those personal shots without going that route. That's what this movie proved.
Right.
In that
you
sense,
can do
that you don't always
without having to go like this.
Yeah.
You know? All right. So very good. So you enjoyed it for the most part. A couple of complaints, but overall pretty good. Now, Alex, you said second, maybe third time. You don't remember, but it's not a movie you've seen a bunch of times.
No.
I'm very interested to hear. This got some action in it. We have not done it on the action movie, guys.
No.
I think it might be on the schedule at some point, but maybe not. I got to check.
Yeah.
But anyway, what are your thoughts on 2005's War of the Worlds?
All right. So it's weird to say. I'm going to do the positives and negatives. I think it's best for me to break it down this way before I give my overall, and I'll do it quick. Positives, I thought Tom Cruise was pretty good in the lead role. I thought Dakota Fanning was pretty good in her role, and I liked the son. I thought they were pretty good. And I thought their chemistry were pretty good throughout. I think Dakota Fanning and Tom Cruise worked very well together as father and daughter. Where the son, I didn't feel like they had that strong, but it was pretty good because it doesn't even matter if they did chemistry or not because he felt like he was a distant father anyway. So I was like, you know what? That kind of worked for me. I like the special effects of the robot, the destruction, some action sequences. I thought it worked very well. Some of them, to me, it just didn't do nothing. I would have loved to see the plane crash into the house, but they used your imagination of the lighting and all the the sound ambience to make you be like, oh damn, what is that coming towards them? Is it an alien? Or you find out it's a when he goes outside, it's a Boeing 757 that crashed next to the house. So I would have liked to see that, but anyway, it didn't matter. I thought that set piece itself looked amazing when he came out. I thought it worked very well. Certain journeys I thought worked well. That's pretty much it. I think at the end of the day, I did not like this movie. I thought this movie was boring.
Wow.
Boring. Like I was bored. My wife liked it more than I did. I was not a fan of this. I thought it was very slow paced. While I do agree with Evan with certain scenes, I felt like the pacing was pretty good, but then certain areas, it just felt like it was lengthy. Because it was shocking when you guys thought it was 2 hours plus, and it was actually below 2 hours. So that's when it tells you that this shit was kind of long. You felt like you were watching a long movie. So, and it wasn't. We were watching a 2 hour, actually lower than 2 hours, an hour 57 minutes, but it really felt like a 2 hour 40 or 2 hour 30 in certain scenes. I didn't like it. I didn't like it as much because of that. I was so confused with the ending. They did not clarify how these aliens got sick or how they got their weaknesses. And then I had to look it up, and it said that because of them taking the bloods of humans, that their blood, some of them was tainted and pretty much gave them a virus, just like Independence Day.
Yeah, they had no immunity to all
immunity
the
to the
humans have
immunity system.
Yeah, so but again, the movie doesn't distinguish that, because all of a sudden you hear this guy screaming, "Look at the birds!" And the guy's like, "What? Look at the birds! The shield is off!" And then they start firing missiles. Where I do agree with Evan, I rather them going into a battle in Brooklyn and then figuring out that the aliens are now easy to kill. Where I just felt like I was kind of lost in that sequence, because towards the end I'm like, okay, so I mean he's touching vines and they're dying, where before the scene it was all red and you could see it was healthy, and then when he picked it up it disintegrated. So I was just like, okay, but it was kind of a weak ending, because I'm like, I really don't like how, like, if you didn't read the books or you didn't watch the earlier adaptions, I don't know if those do the same shit, that the human blood killed them and all that virus stuff. Where I disagree with Evan, and not in a bad way, I think with Independence Day, why it worked for me is there was lovable characters journeying us through the whole movie. Whereas this one, besides Tom Cruise and Dakota Fanning, I didn't care. She was annoying. She was crying almost the whole time, screaming. I was like, come on. That shit was annoying. If you think Nate hated Willie screaming in Indiana Jones Temple of Doom, I bet you he's going to be hating this girl during this whole movie, because she was just crying and screaming. And I was just like, oh my God, that was annoying. Tom Cruise, again, he does do a great job, but at the end, he's the only man in it's like a play. He was the only with the kids, just taking him from point A to point B. So for me, while it is a good movie, I just didn't like it. I just couldn't. And it's crazy. I know you guys love John Williams. I wasn't crazy with this score. Like, it didn't feel memorable like his other ones. Like, if you put this, like, if you play this song from this, whatever theme this is, I would not tell you it was John Williams. Where other ones I would have known off the bat, like certain tropes that he does. This one doesn't have any of the tropes of like a Harry Potter, Jaws, or
you wouldn't know
Star
the terminal.
Wars. Yeah, the terminal. Yeah. Like, so, like, I don't know. I don't feel like this one is very memorable to me. I don't feel like this score. Well, it was good.
This is not one I'm going to buy the soundtrack for and listen to on its own. But I thought it fit well inside the movie. And
that's what I mean.
Like, yeah, and that's fine. I do think that this is the soundtrack itself, the overall sound design is a hidden character for me, because when I was listening to it on my surround sound, like, to me, that was a driving factor. If I was just listening to it on my TV speakers, I don't think it would have been as big of an impact for some people. But it was a good sound design. But I would agree, it's not one that I'm going to go, ooh, War of the Worlds, that's a great soundtrack, or that's a great theme song. But I think it plays perfectly inside of its movie.
Now, I agree. I there's no like big theme that's like, I hear this song and I think. But if you do listen to the score on its own, it's very good. It is not memorable. I agree with that. It's not like, within the movie it's good. But if you did listen to it separate, the music's actually really good. But I agree, there's, Williams is so good at themes, and this doesn't really have that. You know what I mean? So
I think the weakness of it is the fact that I think the movie is as strong. Because if the movie was really good, I think the score, complements it. I think a lot of people be like, yo, this is War of the Worlds. Like, if you look at Interstellar, right? That movie's really good. But if you play a song from it, I guarantee you people go, oh, that's Interstellar. That's, this dude, Hans Zimmer score. Or, I think it is Hans Zimmer, right? Hans Zimmer. So, like, I think it's because the movie's not as strong. I don't think the music is as strong that complements. But I agree. The score is really good, but I don't think it's his strongest. I will end with this and give it to Nate. Swing it to Nate. I like a lot of the Alfred Hitchcock shots he did. Now, I don't know if it's Alfred Hitchcock-ish or whatever you want to call it, but me and Nate been watching goddamn how many Alfred Hitchcocks. So I'm saying Alfred Hitchcock, but we've been seeing so many of them. That's what I'm noticing. A lot of the first point characters, when he's looking at the camera and they're talking, whether it's the daughter, the son, or Tom Cruise, very Hitchcock. And there's a shot with Dakota Fanning that looked exactly like an Alfred Hitchcock shot, and the music sounded like Psycho in that one scene. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And that's what I meant. Like, I wish he did was keep shoot it very old school, but in a modern world, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, this is felt very modern-y, camera shots and everything. But I feel like the old shots that he was doing, complementing with the John Williams old style in certain scenes, I was like, you know what? If they would have did this the whole entire movie, I think it would have been pretty good. I would be like, you know what? I would have been like, this is pretty good. But as is, I thought it was just a boring, long movie. That's what I thought. And you know what's crazy, though? If we're going to laugh, I kind of like The Terminal over this one. And that one is in one scene.
What the heck?
In an airport with a horrible accent, Tom Hanks.
So are we saying your later Spielberg rating is now War of the Worlds? So the before half, if it's better than E.T., the later half is it better than War of the Worlds? So
it's
that's
better than War of the Worlds.
You think it's the new mark because the Terminal, Break is the Terminal, and then War of the Worlds.
Well, no, because I was thinking of like out of all the movies that we've done, so far in the 2000s, I'm looking at it and I kind of like, we did Minority Report. I enjoyed for what it is. I like Catch Me If You Can. The Terminal, I was a little here and there, but I enjoyed it for what it was. But this one, I'm just like, I was really bored. I was just like, and I'm not going to lie to you guys, I was really sitting down and just going, what the hell? Like, I never thought I would sit down and watch this movie going, this was boring. Because the action was good. The first 30 minutes when it came out, I thought it was really good. I was in the edge of my seat. Then it got boring when he got into the van and then just kept going. And I was like, oh my God. And then he went into the whole thing, give me the car. And then they went into that. Then they went into the ferry. Yeah. That sequence was actually pretty cool. But then it just dragged out from there. Then we went into the whole son wanted to run up the hill when they're shooting missiles all over the place. I'm like, what the hell? Then Tim Robbins scene, while it was pretty cool and intense and suspenseful, it was kind of boring. Because all they did was just stay quiet and all you heard was the robot.
And the aliens come in and they're crawling around.
The aliens. And then I felt like it was long. Like it was a 30-minute scene, but it was kind of short. But I felt like it was like 30. But anyway, that's what I felt. I'm sorry. But
awesome.
Yeah, go ahead, Nate.
All right. Well,
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
You're going to break the tie. Are you Team Alex or Team Evan?
All right. This is hilarious. This is a hilarious review because Evan liked it and Alex didn't like it. And I honestly feel, and I kind of always have, I have super mixed feelings about this movie. I guess I lean towards I like it. I'll say that. Like my score reflects, I think it's a good movie. But I have problems with this movie. So it's like, dang, it's not, I wish it was better. And I feel like it could have been. So let me get to the good stuff. Number one, I agree. I like Tom Cruise in this movie. It's rare that you get to see him play a character like this, like very flawed, Not that he's always flawless, but he's usually the hero. And he is the hero in this, but he's got a bad relationship with his kids. He's kind of a deadbeat. He goes to sleep. Like, order some food, do whatever, take care of yourselves. Him and the son obviously have a bad relationship. He doesn't seem overly interested in, fixing it. He's pretty much like, I'm your dad, listen to me, and that's it. That said, early negative, I hate the son in this movie. I absolutely hate this kid. I don't have the same experience, but the fact that he's 16 years old or something, because he doesn't have a driver's license, so he's young. He's not like a 18-year-old or whatever. The fact that keeps trying to leave his little sister and go to join this war, and I've never liked it, and I still don't like it. Even watching it now, I'm like, this kid's a brat. I don't really like him. Anyway, but I do like Tom Cruise in the role. I think he does a good job. The set pieces in this movie are terrific. The opening when the aliens come out is even to this day, 20 years later, I think it's an amazing scene. I think it looks great. I love the way it's shot. I love the scene of the church spinning because the floor is turning. They have those things they start. Oh my gosh, fantastic visually. Looks amazing. I like the first guy that gets hit with that gun that just turns people into dust. Awesome, scary. You just see people and they're just, oh my God, I love it. I love that whole opening scene. Even the lightning where they're outside and the storm is coming and and she's getting scared. And he's like, no, it's not scary. And then he gets scared.
Yeah.
And they
Lightning don't hit
like,
twice in the same area, and then it does.
And it hits like 8 times.
Yeah, he's like, holy shit.
Yeah. He's like, go inside. I love that scene. Yeah. There's a scene when they're first leaving in the van. And this camera is swinging around. It's going inside the van, out of the van. It's a long take. The van's driving. It goes in. And then it comes back out. And then it's looking at the van from the side. And then it's looking at the van from the other side. And then it goes in. And then they're talking. And then it goes to the front. And it's a long take. And for this in 2005 to look as good as it does, I was even like, how the heck did they... I mean, I know it's visual effects and all that, but Spielberg was, honestly, I feel like he was really in his bag at that moment. He was like, I'm going to do something really cool. I'm going to do this camera. People may not notice it, but I'll notice it. And Nate noticed it. And I liked it. It was great. I was like, dude, I don't even remember this scene, but I thought it was awesome. I agree with you, Alex. The plane crash. Yeah, it would have been cool to see it, but I think the reveal of this big, destroying plane is cool. Which, by the way, you could see it at Universal Studios Hollywood. I saw it on the little the little tram tour. They got the set there with the plane crash and everything. It's huge. So that's pretty cool. I like that. I like the scene in the water where when they're, they think they're getting away on that ferry and then the thing's under the water. It's great. And then last scene I love is, and if you notice, I love scenes of this movie. It's like there's moments that I think are great. I love the scene with the van with the people. Evan, you said the most suspense for you is the Tim Robbins scene. That is the most suspenseful scene to me, where all that mob of people is trying to get this car. The daughter's in. He's like, my daughter's in there. They don't care. They're like busting through the glass, cutting themselves. They don't care. Like that scene stresses me out every single time. And them trying to get on the boat a little bit, but mostly that. All right. That being said, this movie absolutely, it's like a car driving, right? Let's go back to my van. This van's driving and we got all this cool stuff. And it's like it just crashes into a brick wall as soon as we get to the Tim Robbins part. I absolutely hate that whole entire section of the movie. I always have. I hated it when I first saw it. I hated it this time. It is, Alex, you're right. It is so boring. Them in the basement and the girl's like, sing me a lullaby. And he's like, I don't know any lullabies. And he starts singing some other weird song. And then he's talking with Tim Robbins and he's crazy. And you don't really know, like he's just a crazy guy. And then the arm comes in and then the aliens come in. And then he wants to dig a hole like Shawshank Redemption. And then and I'm like, oh my God, please leave this house already. Like get out of here. And it's true. It's like 20 minutes at least of them in this basement. I don't like it. And apparently that character, the Tim Robbins character, is a mix of characters from the book. Like there's not, that guy's not in the book, but there's like a couple other people he's playing he's playing like a combined version. So I hate that scene. I think it drags the movie. Honestly, I'd rather it be an hour and 40 and you cut out that whole entire section. Honestly, like I would have been okay with it. Or make it 5 minutes so you could see the thing with the blood, because that is important, where they're like, where he stabs that guy and sucks the blood and then the red vines and I get that, but I don't like that section. So yeah, that movie dragged it down. The kids, okay, Dakota Fanning's really good, but my goodness, she screams all the time in this movie, and it drives me nuts. You're right.
Didn't I say
hit
it?
The nail on the head.
I knew it.
It drives me crazy. I'm like, she's doing a great job. I feel bad because usually kid actors, they're hit or miss, mostly miss for me. She's great. She was probably one of the best child actors that I know of. I love her in Man on Fire. I think she's quite good in this. Like, she's great, but she just screams too much, and it starts to like just grate on me every single time. So I get it. I would be screaming too if I was a little kid in this scenario, but that doesn't mean I like to hear it for 2 hours. So I don't love that. I don't love I hate the son in this movie. I really do. I feel like his storyline goes nowhere. There's no resolution to it. He hates his dad. He wants to leave. He leaves. You don't see what happened to him, but he survived. He's just alive.
Yeah, but he ends up, like, that's the thing. Like, I agree with you. Like, I don't get the ending. Like, he already was in Boston when the father and the son arrives. I'm like, weren't you running up the battle shooting missiles?
And
It was
he made us believe he died from that big, huge fire that everyone else was running away. Like, how the hell do you survive that?
Being an untrained teenager.
Yes.
Yeah,
Whiny
because he
brat.
runs over the hill, and the next thing we see is every military Humvee vehicle burning coming at us.
Which
so
is a
it
cool
doesn't
shot.
make sense.
Yeah.
It is a cool shot. And I get that, because I'm gonna say, I forgot to say my one big flaw before I let you finish.
Yeah.
Is the the coincidence of how Tom Cruise's character gets to survive. And the perfect one is he's in the basket, right?
Yeah.
And he sees the grenades, and somehow he's being sucked up into the butthole thing, whatever it,
The alien's butthole.
right? But that's when the military guy decides to save, like the guy who got sucked up before. No one cared about him, I guess. It's because Tom Cruise, like they say, pull him down, and then somehow he's able to pull 2 grenades pins with his mouth, because he spits it out, and like going, how the heck does that happen? And so that there's just those little annoyance of like, why is Tom Cruise so lucky? If that makes sense, that's the whole entire time you're asking yourself through that movie.
Because he's our main star, and
he's
got to
our main star.
survive. He got paid.
He got to survive.
But no, I agree. Coincidences in movies can drive me nuts. But besides that, I hate the son in this. I don't like that they don't even show one scene of him ever again, and he's just alive at the end. I don't like it. And the ending. Now, Alex, I'm glad you brought up the ending. That is the ending of the book, as far as them dying from getting human viruses. So it is authentic, but it's super controversial with this movie. Like, a lot of people hate it. They're like, oh my God, you're telling me these aliens come here and they just get sick and they die. Yes, I mean, that's the original source material. So they didn't stray from it, but I can see it not working. I could see why people don't like it. I'm kind of indifferent towards it. Like, I don't like it or hate it. I think it is what it is. It makes sense to me. It makes sense if you as humans, think about it. Go ahead.
I was going to say the original, because it's the opening tagline of these advanced beings have been watching us for millions of years.
Right.
Did they not try to figure out, hey, I need to have make sure I have some vaccinations before I go on the planet? Like,
right. They've been observing, but I guess they didn't know the virus, unless you're hands-on. Plus, they're kind of like terraforming with their vines and all that stuff. So they, they just figured.
But they know enough to terraform, but not to worry about, like, it does, because I think the opening monologue of Morgan Freeman throws off the ending, because you made them sound so amazing and smart. Like, if they would have just discovered our planet by accident and like dropped the ship, then it makes more sense, if that makes sense. Because they don't know, but they've been watching us for ever.
They drank some blood from people with AIDS or something, and they got sick and died. That was it. That was their downfall. But I feel indifferent towards it. It's if that's the source, it's the source. I think it's abrupt. I think the ending, like, literally, you're going and then it just ends. It's like, well, okay, cool.
I think, like I said, like, I don't mind it. Like you said, if it's the book, fine. But you had to find a way to weave it in to make us understand what happens. Because it did the Alfred Hitchcock. Like, it literally just went, that's it. And then Morgan Freeman gives you the speech for millions of years.
And then you see like a little, like a bacteria,
a planet,
raindrop or something. Like, what? Okay, cool. And like, I think if they would have done the same thing, let's say they're sick, right? And the shields go down. And then you had like an extended battle scene. You know what I mean? Like, all over these people are shooting and these people, cool. Add a little bit of action at the end. Now, technically, this is not an action property, really. It's a sci-fi story. So the fact that Spielberg got some action in there, I was happy with. I know, Alex, you said some of it's good, some you didn't care. I'm just glad it's there, because really it is a hard sci-fi. Yeah. It's not even really supposed to have action. He was just like, I'm gonna destroy some stuff. I'm gonna blow some stuff up. So I appreciate it. Anyway, mixed bag. There's things I really, really, really like, and there's stuff I literally hate about this movie. So I do think it is good. And my score will reflect as much. I don't think it's bad. It's more like, I just wish this wasn't there. What works for someone, what someone else might find very interesting, I didn't. So I don't know. I've always, again, I have some nostalgia just because of like when I saw it in the surrounding time, but it's not one of my favorite Spielberg movies. But I do think it's solid. I think it's a solid movie. All right, well, let's get to our scores. I'm very interested to see what the heck kind of scores we got here. Evan, what did you give this movie?
I don't know. I'm still deciding. I'm looking at my past scores, trying to decide where I want to land it. Because I have like Lost Word out of 7, but I also have like E.T. out of 7, and I think it's not as good as E.T. as an overall story. There's more weaknesses, but it's better than Lost World a little bit. So I'm so torn because I have these two 7s driving me.
You might have to start adding some 0.5s to help differentiate.
You might have to.
So I think I need to move ET to a 7.5 and then make this a 7. That's the only way I could do that.
All right.
So I'm moving another score up higher, so this one doesn't go above it. But I think I'm going to land at a 7 because I do like it, and I don't know because I don't want to. I think you're both. Are you both younger than me? Or
I'm
Alex,
43.
Okay, so you're older than me.
I'm younger than you.
I'm 42.
I'm the oldest one. Nate is the youngest.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm 42. We're pretty much the same age. Because I do think that when I watch this, it's definitely my fears of post 2001. Like my friends going off to war, and what does that do to be attacked on? So it plays into that. So I think. It brings up a lot of fears for me watching it. So I think, but I wonder if that plays into why some people dislike it too. It's so divisive on that. It came out at a very time, but I think a 7 for me with an ET moving up to a 7.5.
All right.
This is getting hard at the end. I'll tell you that right now.
The ranking? Yeah.
The ranking?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's interesting. All right, Alex, what the heck did you give this movie that the terminal? You like the terminal?
Well, while Evan says it's hard for him, I think it's pretty easy. I gave this a whopping 3 out of 10.
Oh my god!
Now, but you got to remember though, while I do agree, I like Lost World Jurassic Park, and I gave that one a 4 out of 10, which is tied with the terminal. And there was no way this movie was going to go above
It's so crazy
those.
to hear the sentence, I like this movie. I gave it a 4 out of 10.
No, 3 out of 10.
Oh, that's
World of the World.
Even
World of the
lower,
World is
even
3 out
lower.
of 10.
Oh.
No, World of the World's 3 out of 10. The Terminal and Lost World is 4 out of 10.
but he liked them.
But I enjoyed for what they were. I just think flaws. See, the way it is like we're doing it out of 10.
Yeah.
And we got 34 movies.
Yeah.
So I got to see which ones are better than what. And for me, this is the only easy way to me to distinguish which ones are the weak ones out of the strong ones in the
I'm
pile.
so glad you're not a teacher because I loved your essay. F.
D. Everyone gets a D.
I'll be like, everybody be like, why are you scoring this way? Well, and then I pull down the curtain. Well, E.T. is a 5.
Georgie got a 90%, and yours is not as good as his. So
Georgie is the mix line.
And really, we got two more months of school left, so I really need to see where you land.
Yeah.
So
that's true. All right, so 3 out of 10 for you.
3 out of 10. Yeah.
All right, I am same score as Evan. I have a 7 out of 10. I think it's a good movie. I think it's fine. However, in my ranking, I won't say what it's ahead of or behind. It is ahead of it's ahead of 3 movies I gave an 8 out of 10. So I would watch this before I would watch those. That's literally my ranking is which one of these would I watch over the other one?
Between The Terminal and War of the Worlds, which one would you watch?
Yeah, I gave The Terminal a 7 as well, but it's lower than this one. Yeah. So again, I will give one away. I have Hook way up ahead of a couple of 10s, but I gave it a 9.5. But I've seen that movie a million times, and I'll probably see it another million times. So I'm going purely on rewatch. Which am I watching before? Because if I just go pure score, then I would just have these blocks with all the same numbers, similar to what you guys are running into. So it's a lot of fun.
It's hard for me because I never seen these. Some of these I never seen. So for me, I have to base it off of which one I enjoyed, and then remembering the other ones prior. So it's like we're 23 movies in, so I'm watching War of the Worlds, and now I have to go if this one's better than Raiders and Temple, and
it's tough.
So that's why I have to give it 3 because I think those other ones I enjoy way more. I mean, like the Temples and Raiders and Jurassic Lost World. Hey, Amistad. And that's a 5. Come on.
That's a 5.
That's a 5.
I gave it an 8.
Oh my God. Alex once again got excited. Hey, this is pretty high for me. It's still an F.
Alex, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question because I don't remember. Have you given anything a 6?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yes, Empire of the Sun.
Okay.
I gave that one a 6. I gave Sugarland Express a 6.
Okay. So you have a couple of 6s.
Yeah, I got a couple of 6s. Okay. I mean, like I said, I've been actually pretty good with my score. I mean, I know we all laugh and stuff, but I think my weakest one, of course, is going to be 1941. I mean, I don't know if anything going to be worse than that. But other than that, I mean, I'll reveal... When we do the final,
when we do the final,
I will put these in order so you guys can laugh at how I put them one through 10.
When we do the live stream, you guys have to send me your scores anyway. So we will go over where everyone had what and where it was cumulative for all of us. So it's going to be interesting. That is the end of War of the Worlds, the 23rd. Now, next up is another movie from 2005. This one I'm excited about because I haven't seen it in years, and Alex has never seen it, but I still think he's going to like it a lot, and that's Munich is going to be our next movie. So Munich does not have a 4K yet. You can get it on Blu-ray. Maybe it has a digital 4K.
I think they just announced the 4K. I thought.
They did, but
but
we won't be out by the time we review it.
What year is that?
2005.
5.
So it came out towards the end of 2005 because it was supposed to be more of like a prestige type movie. But anyway, Eric Bana in that one. Daniel Craig, your boy Daniel Craig is in that movie as well. An early role for him. Same, I think, or Casino Royale was 05 or 06.
06.
Right before Casino Royale. I'm interested to hear your guys' take on it. I remember really, really liking it. But again, been a while since I've seen it.
It has your boy Dominic Green.
Dominic Green is in it. Syrian Hines is in it. And also Laura from Man of Steel, his mom, she's in this movie as well. She plays Eric Bana's wife, I believe, is played by her. So
that's a lot of people here. I'm looking at the thing.
It is.
It's an ensemble cast. That's what it's filmed as.
Yeah. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm interested. A little more serious, going away from a blockbuster into more of a. It's not a drama. I mean, I guess it's a drama, but it's a spy. It's like a thriller. It's more like a thriller, I guess, is probably what I would put it as.
I would describe it more of the slow burn thriller, though.
Yeah.
It's not like
it's more espionage. You know,
yes,
like
that's the better
spy.
word.
Yeah, like an espionage.
Mm-hmm.
Don't expect a ton of action, but the story is really interesting, and it's a true story based on a true story. So, we're going to be covering that one next. As always, if you're not already, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit the bell icon. That way, you get notified when new videos drop. Also, if you can, give us a thumbs up down below and let us know in the comments if you enjoy War of the Worlds or if you hate it. Like apparently. Some people with the 46% on Rotten Tomatoes. I want to know if you guys like or dislike. Do you agree with Alex? Do you agree with Evan? Or are you like me and you just don't even know what's going on? It could go either way. Anyway, that is the episode. We'll be back next week with Munich. Until then, be awesome to each other and geek out.